So this presentation, I will try to keep it short, is about the communication of the Restore scientific output. So everything that was produced over the Cost Restore action, how it was communicated, what is the scientific output, how it was communicated, and where can you find it, some more information about it. So the communication of the Restore scientific output was coordinated by Daniel Friedrich, who is the Restore scientific communication manager. But I would like to point out it was not just coordinated. He really did a lot of very large portion of the work by himself. My name is Jelena Bleiziffer. I'm from the University of Zagreb, Faculty of Civil Engineering in Croatia, and I was helping him as a communications team member in some of that work. So the content of this presentation, as I said, I will try to keep it really short. I will just give a couple of facts and figures about the action, although I guess you have already got the knowledge about much of it. Just what was done over the 4 years of activities, and then I will progress with the dissemination, what was done so far, what is still in planning, what is still worked on, and how we intend to keep working even after the Restore action has ended. So first of all, the hub, the center, the focal point of all our communication and dissemination activities is, of course, the website of the Cost Restore, eurestore.eu, where you can find really a lot of information and on a lot of documents. So first of all, just a couple of facts and figures, which is given on the website under the About section. So this is a really large action. It has over 160 members from 40 countries. It includes members from both academia and industry. And what is quite interesting is that this large number of participants also comes from a very large number of different competence fields, which is, of course, challenging in terms of managing the project, but it is also very, very beneficial, I have to say, from my own personal experience, because it really gives a very good platform for the interdisciplinary work and taking into account different aspects that this project has to take into account. So the research work itself was done through 5 working groups. Then there were 5 academic training schools. So for each working group, there was 1 academic training school conducted. There were industry workshops for industrials. Scientific missions were used to connect different universities. In addition to that, Cost Restore funded conference participation through ITC. It also funded journal publication through OA grants. One interesting and important initiative, really in line with the research that is done within the Cost Restore, was the initiative of carbon offsetting of all travels. So to really do what we preach here. And then, of course, there were a lot of meetings on different scales within the project. There were 5 management committee meetings, there were 50 core group meetings, and there was really countless subgroup meetings. Towards the end of the action, all of them were shifted online due to the current circumstances, but quite a large number was also held in person. Regarding the deliverables, you can find them on the website. So the most important are the deliverables of each of the working groups, which were doing the research work within the Cost Restore. So the working group 1 on restorative sustainability, there is a book from 2018 summarizing their work and really giving direction for all the subsequent subgroups. Then there was working group 2, and their final booklet on restorative design is really an impressive publication with more than 400 pages. Then what followed was the working group 3 on restorative building and operations. Their work was summarized in publication from 2019. For working group 4, also publication on rethinking technology, which was published last year. And the last, of course not least, working group was working group 5 on scale jumping. And I think you have heard from Jelena Bleiziffer earlier today that this booklet is not yet finished. It's not yet published, but it is. It will be soon. What is currently worked on also is to aggregate all of those research results from all of those different working groups in one final book of the action. So it will include work from all 5 working groups. It is estimated to be around 300 pages, written by 37 authors from 20 countries. So the overall overview of the findings that were done during the cost action restore. Another deliverable that you can find in the same section of the website, but under tools, is the Atlas of Solutions, which was actually the result of the working group of the work of the research of the working group 4, where in an interactive map you have 36 case studies presented in a structured way to show some good examples of the technologies that can be used to improve indoor environment quality. Regarding the informing the participants, very large number of participants, as you have seen, but not just participants in the action, but also other people who are interested in the topic of this action. Newsletter was published each month, so there is more than 40 of them published up to today. These newsletters generally give a review of finalized restore activities. It lists disseminations and gives some short description of disseminations that are acknowledging restore. It gives information on the management decisions that were taken up to the issuing of the newsletter. It also announces future events, so planned restore activities, paper calls in relevant journals, relevant congresses, member nominations, things like that. So if you are, I guess many of you are already subscribed to this newsletter, but you can still do it on our website if it's of interest to you. So what is still planned? Well, not just planned, but currently worked on. The first is a publication called Restory, Managing a Cost Action as a Project. So this will be a printed book which will describe how to manage a project like a cost action. It will give a presentation of the project. It will give chronological overview on activities, but it will also summarize the lessons that were learned from this particular action. The other one is called Restored 2030, a city following restore philosophy, which is intended to focus on applying regenerative knowledge, tools, and all the outcomes of restore. So it should produce a dissemination package with training and workshop guidance material. And the idea is to support schools, to support academia, to support practice with this kind of publication. All of these outputs are freely available for use. You can find them on the website under Deliverables. So lots of different materials, online books, graphics, videos, presentations, similar. And for people from academia, it might be of interest to note that most of these documents are scientifically citable. Even though we are approaching the end of the cost restore action, it is still planned to further update the website. Generally, what you can follow are the posts on the Restore landing page, from which there are links to the different sections of the website itself. It will be updated also with the papers that acknowledge Restore as an action. It will be updated with announcements of relevant congresses and with notification on planned joint research projects in the future. Just a couple of thoughts on how to turn restore philosophy into practice. So a couple of proposals from practical applications. For example, students can conduct technology assessments from the Atlas of Solutions that I had mentioned. Lecturers can create their course script with contents from the 5 working groups booklets. Restore Final Book can be an inspiration for industrial managers to reorient their business. Project managers can take into account the experiences from the Restore book when planning their activities for similar projects. Universities can expand their teaching concepts with elements from the VG5 booklet. And the public authorities, politicians, and humanists can draw inspiration from the Restored 2030 book. So I invite you to stay connected with Restore, even though we are coming to the end of the project. So check our website. You can always email Restore or stay connected through our Facebook or Twitter channel. And there's also a ResearchGate link, which might be important for academia. So with this, I hope I have been short with the presentation, but as I said, the website is the main hub for all the information, but you can also contact anytime us on any of the distribution channels.